All right, here we are, everybody. Welcome to the channel. I am Aesop Grimm, and you're looking at it. Oblivion Remastered, The Elder Scrolls 4. If you want a quick synopsis of why I decided to go ahead and enter this game into the rotation of a long playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2 and dedicate a couple days of the week to this game as well, whenever I turn down other games, you can look at my 10-minute video thereabouts, episode 71A of my Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough. If you want a longer explanation, episode 71B, I talk ad nauseum about Oblivion, why I'm doing it, what my background is with it, why, I never got to play this game. Whenever I played the other two, I played Morrowind and I played Skyrim. But Oblivion, I missed out on. And all of that is in episode 71B of my Red Dead Redemption 2 video. One of the reasons I bring this up is because in those videos, I ask the audience, is there a class that you want to see, that you feel strongly about? And if we got a consensus on that, then I would play that class, right? And this probably also includes race, if you guys have favorite races. But the thing is that video does not go live until 4 o'clock this afternoon, my time, and I am recording it as of Wednesday. You are seeing this video as of Friday. That leaves very little time for opinions, and I'm a small channel, so I'm actually not really even expecting any opinions or comments or strong desires to see X, Y, or Z class. But in the event that I do, and I'm prepared for it, I'm looking forward to that if there is, then what I will do is this video that I'm recording right now, this is going to go up. You're going to see this on Friday regardless, and I am going with my default. I'm making a Bosmer Woodelf Assassin. But if we get a consensus of people who want to see a different class and maybe a different race as well, then I will make a highly edited 10-minute addendum video, and I'll call that like episode 1B for this Oblivion Remastered series. Okay, going forward, expect this series to release on my channel weekly on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. Central U.S. Standard Time. That is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 a.m. Central U.S. Standard Time. Okay, that all said, let's go ahead and hit new game and watch the opening intro.
I was born 87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. Behold, in darkness, a doom sweeps the land. This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era and the final hours of my life.
And there is Cyrodiil looking very majestic. Here we are at the prison. Okay, here we are at character creation. Now look, in full transparency, because my channel absolutely revolves being honest with you, being transparent, not hiding things, and not trying to game you or pretend about stuff. This is supposed to be a blind playthrough. I never played this game, but I have gone through this twice now. Once, and I want to tell you, the furthest I got, I didn't even make it through all of the tunnels yet. So I've only gotten part way through the tunnels. That's the furthest I've been. But the first time was because I followed a YouTube video on graphics optimization, because I heard this game was pretty demanding, and that may have been true when it was first released. That video I watched was released. I think he got an early release version of that game, and so whatever it was, normally this guy's pretty good, but I followed that advice, and it made my game look like absolute trash. And I didn't really know it until I was already into the tunnels, because I thought maybe there was something going on with the light in this character screen right here, throwing it off. So I gave it some time, but eventually what I did is, just during that initial raw playthrough, I just kind of tried setting it at ultra, everything at ultra preset. And it turned out that my machine handled it, and the game looked so much better. Well, so then I restarted, because also, in addition, I wasn't going to restart. I was going to keep it just that way. But I then found out that I kind of made my character wrong initially. And so I restarted, and I went with a different race. And then at the end of the day, I kind of thought, you know what? I don't know what. You're never going to be able to make me like this race. And that race was, my nephew loves this race too. It was the Khajiit. I'm just like, no. I would play an Argonian before I played a Khajiit, but in general, the beast races don't appeal to me. I like to play as the humanoids, you know? So I ended up restarting the game twice. This is my third go through. Like I said, the first time I got, I don't know however far through the tunnels, not all the way. The second time, I just simply got through character creation and then decided at the end of the day, I don't want to do this. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. We'll just go through each of the races real quick. But we have Argonians. This reptilian race, well suited for the treacherous swamps of its homeland, has developed natural immunities to poisons. They can breathe underwater and are good at picking locks. Now, this breathing underwater might allow us to come up with some pretty creative approaches on stuff. I don't know if the game is that open world or not. I really just don't know. So it could be wasted on us also. But if you're anywhere near a body of water and you got to make a quick getaway, as an Argonian, you have a substantially larger chance of surviving because of this. And then right here in the original, these changes, if we bring up these stats here, notice where his reds and his greens are. If we switch to him being from another city in the Argonian area, that changes. This used to be the difference between picking a male and picking a female. I can practically guarantee you this was the old female version, because they gave her more intellect. Not to say in real world that women are smarter than men, but when you're doing video games and you have things like mages and you have a lot of female mages, a lot of female priests, right? This does tend, in the fantasy world, this does tend to lean towards women. But she's not as good on endurance, which affects hit points, and surprisingly, personality. That's a little bit surprising to me, to be honest. The male over here, much better at agility and speed, right? A little bit lower on intellect, lower on willpower. That's funny. So they said that the old females, they were more willful. the way that it went in the previous Oblivion. That's what I mean whenever I say old. So they've changed that to where now it's just, where are you from within this race's area. Okay, right here we have the Bretons. These guys make excellent spell swords. In addition to their quick and perceptive grasp of spellcraft, even the humblest of Bretons can boast a resistance to magical energies. They are particularly skilled at summoning and healing magic. So these guys also can make decent holy warriors, and that was one of my backup plans because this game right here actually almost screams for you to play a paladin. The whole reason I'm going with the Woodelf Assassin is, one, I've never played a Wood Elf before and I've always wanted to, and two, I always play as sword and board. It's like my favorite character class to play as, and I thought maybe I can switch that up, but this game in particular, with the Gates of Oblivion and all, you saw there in the opening sequence, it looked like a Daedric prince maybe walking out of the Oblivion Gate. It practically screams for holy warrior, right? So I had to really kind of practice some discipline, but we'll see what you guys have to say about that. Moving on. Dark Elf. This was my first character race. The one that I told you that I redid. I made a Dark Elf Assassin because the best character I ever made for Skyrim was a Dark Elf Assassin with illusion magic. I'm going to try and replicate that. Also known as Dunmer in their homeland of Morrowind, the Dark Elves are noted for their skilled and balanced integration of the sword, the bow, and destruction magic. They are resistant to fire and can summon an ancestral ghost for aid. Most of this stuff sounds very good for an assassin build. They're good at both bow and sword. The destruction magic, I kind of prefer to have utility for my magic because I have very light magic support. But if you are a class that is all about nuking your enemy before they have a chance to fight back, this dovetails really well with that. You get in, throw a backstab. You could lead with a bow shot, rush in, backstab them, especially if you were able to paralyze your opponent, and then throw a fireball in close proximity. I mean, that's practically a death sentence if he wasn't already dead. So it plays very well to the class. And if you need a get out of jail free card, you need a distraction so you can get the heck out because the op went bad. You can summon an ancestral ghost to kind of distract for you, or maybe distract and allow you to get around your opponent and get a backstab in or something to that effect, right? This was a very good class. But if you look over here, part of what made him so good for being an assassin was the strength attribute, which does govern melee, or at least it used to. It still governs melee in Remastered, but in Remastered, short swords and daggers, the weapons of choice for an assassin, are no longer governed by strength. They are governed by agility, and I found this out late. Now, he has good agility, so this is not a bad class for an assassin whatsoever. But that opened the door for me to get away from min-maxing tendencies and play this race that I've wanted to. But moving on here, High Elf, also known as Altmer, in their homeland of Somerset Isle, the High Elves are exceptionally gifted in the arcane arts. They also boast resistance to illness. However, they are also somewhat vulnerable to fire, frost, and shock. That's all of your destruction magic right there. Imperial, natives of the civilized cosmopolitan province of Cyrodiil. They have proved to be shrewd diplomats and traders. They are skilled with heavy armor and in the social skills and tend to favor the warrior classes. This is probably the race I play the most often as. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it is the one that I've ended up playing the most as over the years. I started out, when I very first started playing this game with Morrowind, I played Redguard and I made thieves and assassins out of Redguards because, again, they were really good in the martial skills and had a lot of athletics and they could carry a bunch of loot. But so I played them a lot also. The Khajiit, the skooma dealers of Tamriel, hailing from the province of Elsewhere. They are intelligent, quick, and agile. They make excellent thieves due to their natural agility and unmatched acrobatic skill. All Khajiit can see in the dark. Now, I think it is close between these two, but Khajiit is the clear-cut min-max best for an assassin. Plus, you get access to hand-to-hand with those claws. There's a reason people really like to play Khajiit, and especially as assassins or thieves. But I just can't do it. I don't dig them. It's not fun I don't think they look good. You know, that's kind of what it boils down to. So, but moving on, and I'll show you when we fixate on here, we'll look at the differences. But then we have the Nord, citizens of Skyrim. Where's that at? Never heard of the place. They are a tall and fair-haired people, strong and hardy. Nords are famous for their resistance to cold. They are highly talented warriors. These, of course, are your offensive, two-handed DPS kind of warriors. Right here is your Fury style, to borrow from World of Warcraft parlance, dual-wield warriors, the Orcs. The people of the Rothgarian and Dragontail Mountains. Orcish armors are prized for their craftsmanship. Orc troops in heavy armor are among the finest in the Empire, and are fearsome when using their Berserker Rage. That Berserker Rage is pretty nice too. Man, they're scary. They could pour a whole bunch of damage on you in a hurry. Similarly, so can the Redguards. The most naturally talented warriors in Tamriel. In addition to their cultural affinities for many weapon and armor styles, they also have a hardy constitution and a natural resistance to disease and poison. I think this default character looks cool too. So like I said, I started out playing Redguards. Now I normally played as, I messed with the skin tones. I've played all of them too. I've played the black ones, the brown ones, and the white ones. But I would mess with skin tones. But they have all kinds of different options. You really can take this class and kind of make him look like whatever you want. He has different kinds of hair options. I don't know if he does on this one. I haven't tried. But in the Skyrim games, he certainly did. So Redguards are pretty darn cool, but not what I'm going for on this playthrough. Here we are, Wood Elf, the clan folk of the western Valenwood Forest, also known as Bosmer. Wood Elves are nimble and quick, making them good scouts and thieves. And there are no finer archers in all of Tamriel. Their ability to command simple creatures is well known. All right, now we have a couple different origins to go with. We have the Grotwood, or Grotwood, I'm not sure how you would say it. You spent your childhood in Grotwood, near the region devastated by Molag Bal. The foul energies still linger there, and your resilience grew amidst the danger. Or Reaper's March. The border region that saw you grow is plagued by anger and resentment after centuries of war. You quickly learn how to soothe people and avoid unnecessary conflicts. So this person's going to be better at diplomacy, I'm guessing. So if we bring up the stats, you can see they're not very good at strength. But again, as an assassin, now that they've changed and rolled things, they rolled some things into willpower. Willpower now governs how fast you regenerate everything. So magicka and endurance. Endurance, if you're used to Skyrim, endurance is stamina. Willpower now governs both. So that's pretty convenient. And agility governs both bows and small swords, short swords and daggers, instead of strength. So we don't really care about strength. They have 40 intelligence. That's good. That's fine. It's like average, right? I suppose 50 is not, well, 50 is average for luck, but 40 is good for an assassin character. They have 30 in willpower, so that's awfully low, right? I don't know that we would, that kind of hurts. We want to be able to recover our stamina quickly because we need to be able to dart in and out. We need to be able to make escapes. If we do get into long combat scenarios, we need energy for the fight. But I could live with it, I suppose. All of this stuff levels up over time, so it's just really being a matter of patience. But look here, they are plussed up in both agility and speed. That's going to be quite nice for an assassin character. Low on endurance. So those two things combined kind of hurts. Personality is 40 and luck is 50. Luck is an interesting stat how this works, but I watched a video and found Italian Spartacus is who I watched, and I felt like he had a good conclusion. Basically, it's not amazing. It sounds amazing because for every 10 points over, you gain a certain percentage of points behind the scenes to every one of your skills, all of them. So if you get 60, it's plus 4 points to everything. The thing is that it doesn't unlock mastery levels. So you're still going to want to level up your strength area, your primary, your core skill set. And as you do that, as you get closer and closer to mastery level, luck matters less and less. So luck will be nice in the early game, and it sucks in the late game, is what it sounds like to me. All right, well, we're going to look at the other version here, Grotwood. So watch the reds and greens. And voila. Did I say that right? Voila? Voila? I don't know. I think it's voila. We still stay at 30 on strength, but we don't care. We stay at 40 in intellect. That's good. We stay at 30 at willpower. That's unfortunate. We stay at 50 at agility and speed. That's good. We go up to 40 in endurance in exchange for dropping to 30 in personality. I'm a dang assassin. I don't care what people think about me. We're not trying to be people's friends. We're kind of scuzzbuckets. We're out for ourselves. We're pissed off at the world, and we don't mind ending innocent lives. So that's what we're going to go with. Now let's look real quick at the comparison. If I were going to go with a Khajiit, willpower, agility, endurance, so like I said, these two being low kind of hurts early on, but we can remedy that. Yeah, so this is what I would go. I would go with Palatine. So they're pretty close. I'm low on personality, low on willpower, better at personality, also low on willpower, 40 on endurance. Yeah, so it's pretty doggone close. The Khajiit is only plussing up in agility. That's what allows him to be a little bit more balanced across more stats. But like I said, I don't really care about personality. So in my opinion, as I'm looking at this, hold on, it's the Palatine. Yeah, same difference. Just one on the plus up here. If I like the Bosmer's stat distribution better here. I'm willing to give up 10 in personality in order to gain 10 in speed or agility. Well, I think it was speed. And then they share these two malices. So I like the Bosmer, but it's when you get down into the skills. Okay, so for us, we're at a plus 15 on alchemy. That's good. We can craft health potions and we can craft poisons for our arrows. Plus 10 on alteration. Possibly, but as I was looking at alteration, there might be spells I'm not remembering, but you know what you can get from alteration is you can alter your encumbrance. That might be useful to have. So having a plus 10 here is not useless, but it's not necessarily great either. Nothing, no extras to illusion, which I'm definitely wanting to get illusion up. We're only going to have light magic support, but using one of those big mastery level illusion spells is going to require some mana and some mastery in this school. Mysticism, not really. Restoration, everybody kind of tends to use restoration, but I only need it a little bit for your occasional heal spell after a fight. They do get plus 10 to acrobatics and light armor. They're, of course, a plus 15 to marksman. These three are all good. I think acrobatics eventually lets you get a talent for dodge. They're plus 15 at sneak. That's very good. Let's compare that to the Khajiit then. And it's not going to matter where we come from in this case. The Khajiit, athletics, I would prefer athletics over acrobatics, I think, so that's nicer. Plus 10 to blade, yeah, that's good to have. Even though for a Khajiit, I feel like it's a little bit wasted because I would likely go with his hand-to-hand. It lowers my carry weight. So that's almost a wasted talent point there, or skill. Plus 15 to hand-to-hand is really nice for a Khajiit. Plus 15 to acrobatics, so they're also very high there. Plus 10 to light armor. Only plus 5 on marksman. Nothing special to illusion or any of the magic schools, really. And 10 to security, a little bit wasted on me, probably. There's going to be some missions where we probably have to pick a lock, but this is better for a thief, which Khajiit excel at. And then plus 10 to sneak. And see, this is what I mean by it's really close. I do think the Khajiit gets the edge because hand-to-hand is not only is it a high-level skill, but it renders it. They have to carry less weight. Plus 10 to blade if you do end up wanting to go daggers later. I'm not sure how the daggers will scale versus hand-to-hand. I know the daggers you'll be able to enchant them, and I don't think you can do that with hand-to-hand, but maybe there are claws. You know, like the weapon claws that you could enchant, and they count as fist weapons, which would be hand-to-hand. Athletics is, I think, maybe better than acrobatics, but they're high in acrobatics also. So I think if you're min-maxing, Khajiit's probably the better option. But we're going to come over here to the Wood Elf. We're going to lower these. We'll just take one more gander. We're from Grotwood. You spent your childhood in Grotwood near the region devastated by Molag Bal. So we're familiar with the Daedra. The foul energies still linger there, and your resilience grew amidst the danger. So we probably have seen the horrible things that the Daedra can do to people, and we resent them for that. But maybe we could pretend like it at the same time we're saturated in that environment, so they kind of rubbed off on us a little bit also, and that's why we become an assassin. That's why we get in with the Night Mother and the Dark Brotherhood. We don't have much of a problem killing innocents. We're just kind of a hard-nosed, angry, sort of bitter little weasel, to be honest. So 30 strength, 40 intelligence, 30 willpower, 50 in agility and speed. That's really good. I like, well, it's nice. It's not that it's really good. We'll overcome all of these things eventually, but it's nice for the early game. 40 in endurance, 30 in personality, so we're going to struggle in selling stuff. But that fits, that, in my opinion, that fits with the Bosmer anyway. They are kind of an outcast race. They're a little bit like maybe like gypsies. They're just sort of not trusted, and they grow up not being trusted. Like their people are not trusted, so they start out getting side-eyed by polite society. And whenever you're a little kid and you start out that way, and you know what you got in your heart, you ain't got no problems with nobody at all. You just want to be liked, and you want to have friends, but you get side-eyed a lot. That over years and years and years, as you start to see that you have a bit more of an uphill climb than other people because reasons, right? And you understand inside what it is. As you get older, you understand how people function. You've seen your own biases come to light. You get it, but you're still upset about it. It's frustrating, and it makes life difficult on you, right? So that's kind of what I feel like the Bosmer worldview would be like. So let's go ahead and, oh yeah, we'll recap this. So it's 5s all the way down until you get to alchemy. The plus 15 alchemy is nice. This can be a good money maker also. Plus 10 to alteration might be convenient. Some sort of utility use. It's not totally wasted. Plus 10 to acrobatics, plus 10 to light armor, plus 15 to marksman, and I think plus 15 to sneak. So pretty strong. I'm pretty happy with that. I apologize for my voice. It feels like, sometimes I'm whispering, like my voice goes out a little bit. So we've got our race. Let's move to body. I'm not going to hide from this. I've got the mod. It's the only mod I have right now that changes this to old school female and male. If you have a problem with that and that upsets you or triggers you, look, you know, I'm not going to be mean to you or anything like that. But I'm offering this as a real suggestion. I'm willing to let you live your life. Maybe you could reciprocate that and let me live mine. Right. I don't like seeing body type 1 body typed. I think that's weird, you know, and I don't join you in how you feel inside your head. I have empathy for you, and I support, if you're an adult, I support you picking your own path. But I'm not going to join you in those, what to me, I think, and this is going to be offensive to you, but I see it as being mind games. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. I think that eventually bleeds over into my own reality, and I have no desire to enter into those grounds with you whatsoever. So I'm willing to let you be you, and I'm asking that you be willing to let me be me, you know, and we can do that civilly. So that's me being upfront. I really kind of would imagine that anybody watching this doesn't have it. They don't care. Right, but I'm putting that out there just in case somebody is tuned in and this raises the hair on the back of your hand. I can understand that, and I wanted to give somewhat of an explanation and be honest about it. Okay, are we going to be young or old? Well, we're going to be young, but we don't have to be super young. Let's maybe go with this. Yeah, that's one tick up. It gives them a little bit of shading and texture. Actually, this might even be better. What's one more? That's too old. But this right here looks like he's been around. This is an experienced assassin who still has the prime benefits of the vitality of his youth. He's in a really good spot. He's strong up here and he's strong here. So we'll go with that. Let's look at skin tone. What's the extremes? Okay. I do tend to like a little bit of coloring. I most often play as what you might consider Hispanic colors, kind of bronzed up a little bit. Okay, that's good for me. Moving on to the head. Now we can spend a lot of time here, and I have spent hours in character generators before in Skyrim, especially if you're working on a female character and you want her to be pretty. I could spend that one because it's not as intuitive, you know, as a guy. So I can spend a long time there. But I'm practicing good discipline. I'm gonna lower this, kind of give him an Anakin look. Remember, he's kind of pissed off at the world. Outer ridge, be up. No, kind of like that. Down is, I kind of like that right at neutral, or just shy of it. Okay. So for me, I'm actually moving rather quickly. I tend to like gaunt because I like it to look like he's in shape and he has little body fat, but I don't want him to look starved like a refugee. Okay, now from a front angle, that's looking pretty good, but are his cheeks too... Oh, that is pretty shallow. So that's more normal. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, so we're actually on the plus side of, well, I forget. Yeah, convex is rounded, and then round here. So the wood elf must have a naturally gaunt look to him. Normally, I'm going the other direction. All right, cheekbones. Low or high? I want to bring them to there. Most of the I'm breaking norms here. Most of the time, I go with wider cheekbones. Probably because I have wider cheekbones. So it's like what I'm used to seeing in the mirror and stuff. Shallow or pronounced. So this is going to be how far forward they are. Let's get a profile view. So let's go this way. They look kind of fat-faced there for a minute. Okay, we'll keep playing with it. Shallow or pronounced. I kind of like. Let's see. He's a wood elf. Wood elves are a little bit more delicate. Let's go with shallow. A more delicate bone structure. Okay, thin or wide? I actually like it widened out some. Oh, that looks almost Hitman-ish, you know, from the video game. But I like wide. That's some really serious bone structure right there. That's actually strong. I do like it wide. Soften that up some, and do I want to? Go with this. Okay, we're just barely north of neutral. Okay, go to the chin. Another profile. I'm gonna soften him up again, going with the more delicate bone structure. I don't know, do I want to do that? Actually, for an elf, I like the chin thrust forward. It gives him a more skeletal. I think that's elvish looking. Obsessed or pronounced? Gotta look from the front here. Actually go with retracted or jutting first. Okay. Jutting. I'm pulling it back a little. Oh, this is gonna underbite or overbite. Okay, let's go underbite. Shallow or deep. Oh, okay. I like deep. So this is almost Wolfmanish, you know, this his face, his jaw juts out away from the throat. Okay, there's some other options here that I haven't looked at yet. A little bit more pronounced of a chin. It's more masculine looking. He can have delicate bone structure and still be masculine. I'm thinking maybe a small chin, actually. Because we have strong points in the other areas. So soften up a bit, like to right there. Actually, you know, for whatever reason, this is making me think of Baldur's Gate a little bit. I haven't even played Baldur's Gate. I don't have any intention to. It doesn't really look like it. That's weird, right? It could be Game of the Year, but it's not really. It doesn't really seem like it's something up my alley. And I can't put my finger on why. That's an honest answer. I don't really know. This is one of the, you know, I mentioned to you that I've made 3 characters. Is it 3? 2 characters. I've made 2 characters. This character is looking really good. I like this. Thin or wide? I want to widen that chin out. That's actually what I was just now looking at. There we go. There we go. Okay, how are we looking from profile? Stop that. Pretty good. He looks realistic, guys. I'm having fun with it. All right, into the eyes. Again, if you guys decide on a different class and or race, we'll redo this and I'll give you a really, really quick edited version of it. It'd be like 10 minutes. What are we looking at here? Eyes. Okay. I like right in the middle. Close enough. Small or large? Kind of like smaller. It gives them a little bit of a squint. Inward or outward tilt? I think maybe inward. This, need to look from the side here. Yeah, a little bit inward. Let's look back at the front. Apart or together? Yes, a little bit apart. Now they're slanted. You see how they move up? They have an angle. I would kind of like to round that out, but I don't know if it's possible. -25. Yeah, that doesn't really make a difference. Down or up might. Not a lot. Okay, going on to face then. Brow, nose, and chin. So these are like the proportions on whether he's tall up here, tall in the middle, or tall at the bottom. I think. Yeah. And I kind of like that. Yeah. Looking good. Okay, what about the forehead? Keep that forehead kind of slammed down a little bit. It gives him that scowl. Light or heavy? Bro, you can actually make like middle-aged looking characters and stuff. People whose bodies have filled out a little bit. As you age, this is one of the things that changes, your jawline and your mouth. Usually not for the better. But, well, that's as you get older. It is for the better as you go from teenager to your prime. I can't speak for women, but for dudes, like your jaw gets stronger, it'll widen out a little bit, and your face will look different than it did in high school, and it'll look better. You'll be more attractive. But when you get north of 30 and you start, or maybe north of 40, and you're on the other side of the hill, then it starts changing for the worse. I kind of like that. Okay, so he's going to get a little bit of weight to his face. Gives him some stoutness, some density. I think this character's looking good. On this one, I do like Gaunt. I'm liking how Gaunt is shaping up. How's that look as we turn around? This actually matters very little, to tell you the truth. You almost never see your character's face like this. That's a little bit overly Gaunt from a human perspective, but maybe not elven. And I like how it looks from the front. Thin or wide? Let's widen him out a touch. What does thin look like? Thin would be, well, I think thin works better for the Bosmer ideal. So I think wider aesthetically looks better. He's a more attractive character here. But I want to go with that Bosmer feel of a wood elf. Quick and nimble, almost like hollow-boned. he's fast and agile. I can see this guy running from branch to branch up in the tree canopy as he's firing arrows down on you, and you can't track him, you can't find him. Okay, moving on to forehead. Can fill that out a little bit. 45 is what I'm trying to get to. There we go. Short or tall? Well, I like tall. Feel like it creates more of a spherical dome. Ooh, that don't look great though. It does not. It does not. There we go. Plus 15. Good enough. Forward or backward, we need to get the profile shot here. Oh, that straightens it up some. What does slammed back look like? I think a Bosmer look would be more like this. I do want his brow to come out some. Okay. Jawline. This can make or break a character. You really can change how a character looks pretty strongly with how the jawline functions. There's the underbite. I tend to like overbites. I think they look better. But the underbite is kind of like stiff upper lip. You know, it does give you kind of a strong stand in the face of your opponent sort of look. But we're to go as a Bosmer, we're going for more of a delicate look. Which means, it looks like it means that we're going to be pretty much neutral here. Here, one is good enough. Okay. Thin or wide? I almost always try to get my jaw to match where my cheekbones are at. We bring that in though. Do I prefer that for Bosmer? Let's play around with it being thinner. I almost never do thinner. Okay, there's your weight gain. Oh, look at that. It brings muscle up here. Well, I don't think he's super muscle bound. He's an archer. But we might go with something like that. Yeah, he's looking good. All this right here, the clean jawline. He looks sharp. He looks sharp. How about concave or convex? Okay, now this is determining whether the emphasis of the jaw is up front or in the back. See? There we go. Something like that. Okay, now, thin wide. Neutral. 0. Okay. Very balanced. Looking good. Move on to the mouth. Drawn or pursed? Oh, I don't know. Maybe a little bit wider. -60. Sad or happy? Normally I go sad. It's more serious looking. This guy could be psychotic also. I mean, you never really know what somebody's smirking about. Let's do 30. How's that look on the front end? Relatively neutral. Low or high? I think I liked it balanced. Retracted or protruding? Again, neutral. Tilt up or tilt down? I kind of like tilt up. What's that look like from the front? Let's put it at 40. Underbite or overbite? I've already told you I tend to prefer underbites, but let's look at both. Or, I'm sorry, I've been saying it maybe I've been saying it the opposite way. I like overbites. But in this guy's case, okay, maybe we do like that. Low or high? Let's bring it a bit lower, maybe. Go back to chin and tall, wide. Get out a little bit more. Okay, back down to mouth. Mouth chin distance. Whoa, what's this doing? I think this is labeled wrong, because it's whether he's got bee stung lips or a really wide mouth. I don't know. I don't know if that's labeled correctly. So from a profile shot, this looks pretty good. What about the drawn? Huh. I don't know. We might have to come back and revisit this after we look at nose. Oh, here's your inflated or deflated. I kind of like him to be thin. Thin-lipped usually looks more severe, and I want a bit of a severe-looking character. Like, you know, serious. Let's give him a small mouth. There, that's actually working better. It fits in his facial scheme better. That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. Okay. Retracted or puckered? A little bit puckered, I guess. Okay, now the nose. This should be the last part. Mouth and nose kind of go together. So, maybe revisiting mouth. -25, flat or pointed? I tend to like pointed. But not which level pointed. Not super far out there. Short or tall? Short. Tilt or down. I tend to like them to be balanced. So depending on what else goes on over here, I just try to flatten it out some. It's a fairly short nose. If you make it long, it looks kind of funny. I usually do long noses. I have a long nose, so that's probably why. Smaller nostrils. Can we make them small and thin, or is that too much? See, it's kind of looking a little bit odd. I think I've messed it up a little bit. It's a tiny nose, but he is Bosmer. Normally I have this dip in, I have it go shallow, but I think in his case it needs to be kind of around here. There we go. That kind of seems to add a little bit of length. Does it make the eyes too high though? It kind of does. Let's go right there. How's that look from the profile? That looks fine. Okay. Oh, that was nostrils. Okay. All right, one last visit to mouth. We might have to take a look at Shen. Mouth, where's down? How do I lower this? Mouth, low, high. Okay. Gives him a little bit more upper lip. His upper lip looks a little bit goofy to me. Am I seeing that right? Where's lips? Can I deflate those? Some more. It's not really doing what I want. Okay. There. Wish I could do something with this upper lip is kind of bothering me a little bit, but I think I'm just gonna call it good. Back to the chin and maybe shorten that up a little bit. No, never mind. I think that's good, guys. All right, if we look at tone, we're looking at eyes here. What about green eyes? Look at all the eye choices you have. I like the idea of him having green eyes. That's interesting. Instead of having a white outer, he has black. That would give it more of a fantasy kind of look. Might do that. These are bloodshot, I guess? Yeah. Cat eyes. Okay. Scroll all the way back up. That's neat looking. Bloodshot. Kind of intensely bloodshot. I think I like the black background. Here you have all green. I don't think I'm a fan of that. No. We're gonna go with these. His skin. Oh, we can lighten them up a little, actually. Freckles? Nah. Man, I hope this looks good in world. You start messing with shading and stuff, and it really depends on the lighting in the room. Yeah, actually, the tents I find to be, oh, you can change what tent color. Interesting. Oh, so that's how you do makeup, I guess. Well, here's your makeup. Okay, well, we're not going to do any makeup. Okay, now, hair. Yeah, I kind of like this hair, but just because it's the default, it kind of bothers me. Want to play the default. I don't think Mohawk works for Bosmer. Either, actually, the fro doesn't look bad, but it seems out of place on a Bosmer. Maybe you could make him with a darker skin tone or something. It's up to you. No. What? Oh, you know what? That's like kind of a traditional Bosmer look, though, isn't it? Just not sure if it's a male one or... Hell no. That looked like a vase. Might do this. It's a little bit clean cut for an assassin. I don't know. Don't know. That looks nice, too. I like it. Might be going with that. What in the hell? This is interesting, especially if we threw some facial hair on there. I want to keep that in mind. Double man bun? Nope. Nope. It doesn't look bad from the front, but you get to the back and it's like, oh, he's a retard. No. Probably not. No. Pretty clean cut, I think. No. No. Potential. Looking like a vampire. Okay, so, what was it? I was looking at this, and let's look at facial hair. What are our options? Oh, you got just the... doesn't look great. 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah, the facial hair is not looking good. Somebody's gonna mod this. This looks like Jebediah up there with the Amish. The Amish are doing miracle work over in North Carolina, man. Those people are awesome. It looks a little bit like a billy goat. Kind of like it, honestly. Now we can add mustache. Yeah, I kind of like that one. These are not great. What color do we want to be? Root color of black. Hair tip color of... I don't know. Everything looks red. Why does everything look red? Okay, I'm just looking at the beard. How do I get on? How do I... Oh, okay. Here's kind of a natural brown. How do you get black? Okay, so we can get blonde. Not really into doing Kool-Aid colors. Even though it's a fantasy game, I'm just not. I always think it looks goofy. Well, I kind of like this. I don't know why the beard is different than the hair, though. The hair's darker. Radiant contrast. Oh, this is where you would get your highlights. See, I've got highlights in the hair now. That's actually, I'm going to run with that. Radiant amount. Yeah, crank that up too. Salt and pepper. Oh man, he's coming together. The eyebrow color, I guess this is to match. But that actually goes with the beard better. The thing is, well, I can't really change the beard. Beard is now matching better, honestly. Okay, so then go back to color, go to eyebrow color and get more blonde. Like that. Maybe like that. It's almost like there's no eyebrows though, huh? It's a little weird. There we go. There we go. That matches. Homeboy's looking all right, man. All right, style. Oh, that... I might like that more. That looks good. And he looks a little bit too kid-like. It's either this or this. I don't know. What am I going to go with? What is it going to be? Are there barbers in this game? I want to go with this one. Yeah. One more look at eyes. Brighten them up at all. The other options up here. I don't like those bloodshot eyes, man. How come I can't get normal white backgrounds? Where are those at? I seem to be missing them. These? I don't like these. Okay, well. Those are gigantic eyes. Cat eyes. The evil. That'd be cool for a dark elf. Glow of the fire inside. Be better. Alright, well, I said I was going to go with green. We need to be wrapping this up now. I think we're set. Let me look at regular hair again just to double check some other hairstyles. Get which one I had selected. I think it was this one. Yeah, actually it was. Oh, that looks nice. No. This looks good. Okay, do I go with that one? This one. This makes me think of Obi-Wan Kenobi, so I'm gonna go with this. Guys, looks like we're a blonde wood elf. And we're gonna name him Aesop. Race wood elf, origin, Gratwood, strengths, nimble and quick, resistant to diseases, can command simple creatures, and improved endurance. There we go. All right, up in the top right, you should be able to see my FPS counter. I have it capped at 60 because I record at 60 frames per second. So it doesn't make sense to me that I would need to play the game at anything higher if I'm only recording at 60 FPS. If I'm wrong about that, and the higher FPS creates smoother motion that even when recording at 60 FPS it captures that or something to that effect, if I'm wrong about that, please let me know. It would benefit me to have that kind of knowledge. But my logic says that it don't matter. So to save GPU resources for other things, I have it capped at 60.
Hey, Wood Elf, you're a little far from the forest, huh? Looks like your days of woodland frolicking have come to a tragic end.
Dunmer, of all people, have no room to talk about, to trash talk.
To a rat-infested hole like this. How very sad. Those walls must feel like they're closing in on you. Pretty soon you'll go mad, and the gods will cut your throat just to stop the ranting.
Wow.
That's right. You're going to die in here, Wood Elf. Die. Hey, you hear that? The gods are coming. For you.
Boris, lock that door behind us.
Yes, sir.
What a jerk.
They're dead, aren't they?
We don't know that, sire. The messenger only said they were attacked.
No, they're dead. I know it.
What's this prisoner doing here? This cell is supposed to be off limits.
Usual mix-up with the watch.
Never mind. Get that gate open. Stand back, prisoner. We won't hesitate to kill you if you get in our way.
No
Okay.
sign of pursuit, sir. Stay put, prisoner.
Good. Let's go. We're not out of this yet.
You. I've seen you. Let me see your face. You are the one from my dreams. Then the stars were right. And this is the day. Gods give me strength.
What's going on?
Assassins attacked my sons, and I am next. My blades are leading me out of the city along a secret escape route. By chance, the entrance to that escape route leads through your cell.
Okay, why am I in jail?
Perhaps the gods have placed you here so that we may meet. As for what you have done, it does not matter. That is not what you will be remembered for.
Okay, well, who are you?
I am your emperor, Uriel Septim. By the grace of the gods, I serve Tamriel as her ruler. You are a citizen of Tamriel, and you too shall serve her in your own way.
I go my own way.
So do we all. But what path can be avoided whose end is fixed by the almighty gods?
Please, sire, we must keep moving.
If only I'd known that had been there.
Better not close this one. There's no way to open it from the other side.
This doesn't concern you, prisoner.
Looks like this is your lucky day. Just stay out of our way.
Okay, Redguard. Thanks for the tip. All right. This is where we're going to save it, guys. We're already at an hour 21. Save game. Have these auto saves here. Let's do new save. There we go. All right. All right. That is episode 1 down. Again, if you guys end up coming with a suggestion, I will have an episode 1B addendum that'll be like 10, maximum 15 minutes long, where we do character editing and get the class in that you want to see and the race. And I'll just take it into my editor and like fast forward a bunch of the stuff so you can see character creation, but it really, really shortens the time, you know? And we'll just have that as an addendum. But if you guys don't have anything to say, then this is what we'll be running with. This Woodelf Assassin that's about to get unleashed on the world. All right, again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thank you for coming by the channel. I hope you like what you saw. More importantly, I hope all is well in your neck of the woods, and I'll see you in the next episode, which, remember, it's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, where this story continues.